All right, let's get into a book that really, honestly, changed the game. Bessel van der Kolk's The Body Keeps the Score. This is the book that took our understanding of trauma and completely flipped it on its head, moving it away from something that's just in your mind to something that literally lives inside your body.
And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute core of the problem. What van der Kolk is saying is that trauma isn't just a bad memory you can't shake. It's an experience so huge, so overwhelming, that it actually shatters our ability to make sense of it, to even find the words. It literally cuts us off from our own life story.
So, right off the bat, here's the first huge idea we have to grasp. For someone who's been through trauma, the past isn't really the past. It's a physical, present-day reality that keeps intruding, not as a story you remember, but as a sensation you feel in your body, right now. Van der Kolk even had this early term for it, physioneurosis. And the idea is pretty straightforward, but it's massive. The very center of trauma isn't psychological, it's physiological. Your body's entire alarm system, the wiring that tells you if you're safe or in danger, is fundamentally physically altered. And to really see this in action, the book tells the story of Stan and Ute. They survived this unbelievable 87 car pileup. Now, physically, they got out mostly okay, but months down the road, they were jumpy, irritable, plagued by these haunting images. Why? Because even though they were safe at home, their bodies were still trapped in that wreckage.
Okay, so how does this actually happen inside our brains? Like, what's the mechanism that makes the past feel so intensely present? Well, it all comes down to how trauma rewires the brain's built-in alarm system.
Let's talk about a part of the brain called the amygdala. The easiest way to think about it is as the brain's smoke detector. It's always on, constantly scanning everything around you for any hint of danger, all in an effort to keep you safe. And that's a good thing. We need that. But what happens when that smoke detector gets, well, broken? When it gets stuck in the on position and starts screaming fire at the slightest whiff of smoke, or, even just the smell of burnt toast? Well, that's when everything goes haywire. Your whole system goes into overdrive. You're living in a state of chronic vigilance, always braced for the next bad thing. It's why you see these huge blow-ups over seemingly tiny things, or why someone might completely shut down just because of a certain look on someone's face. Their body is physically, chemically stuck in fight or flight. And all this leads us to a really challenging but absolutely critical insight. If trauma is stored in the body, in our nervous system, in our gut feelings, then maybe just talking about it isn't always enough to heal it. I mean, just listen to this. This is a quote from Ed Murrow, a professional communicator, a journalist. After he saw the unbelievable horror of the Buchenwald concentration camp, this is what he said. "For most of it, I have no words. If a man who used words for a living couldn't describe it, how can we expect someone else to?" And this, right here, this shows you exactly why. A normal memory, what we call a narrative memory, it's a story, right? It has a clear beginning, middle, and end. You can put it into words. But a traumatic memory, that's completely different. It's stored as these disconnected fragments, a flash of an image, a sound, a physical sensation, all of it just drenched in this overwhelming sense of terror. It's not a story you can tell. It's a horror you have to relive. Okay, so if the problem isn't all in your head, then the solution can't be either, right? This is the book's great paradigm shift. If the body keeps the score, then healing has to start with the body. And this is a piece of wisdom that van der Kolk got from one of his own teachers, a man named Elvin Semrad. The only way to truly be in charge of your own life is to be able to acknowledge the reality of your body, all of it, the good, the bad, the uncomfortable. So the whole goal becomes about finding ways to feel safe inside your own skin again. And that can look like a lot of different things. For some, it might be practices like yoga, which can just help people learn to tolerate being with their physical sensations. For others, it could be a therapy like EMDR, which is designed to help the brain process those stuck, fragmented memories and put them in their proper place. It could even be something like massage or other kinds of body work, which can help reestablish a sense of physical safety and healthy boundaries. And for some, it's even things like neurofeedback, which actually helps you retrain your brain's own electrical patterns to calm down that overactive alarm system we were talking about. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is real-world stuff. After 9/11, a survey asked survivors what actually helped them the most in their recovery. And look at the top answers: acupuncture, massage, yoga, and EMDR. They were overwhelmingly body-based approaches. So, where does all this leave us? Well, this is where we get to the really hopeful heart of the book. Healing from trauma, it's not about somehow erasing the past. It's about reclaiming yourself, reclaiming your life right here in the present. And a huge piece of that puzzle is getting back a sense of competence. See, trauma's calling card is helplessness. It makes you feel powerless. So one of the most powerful antidotes is to regain that feeling that you are effective, that you can do things, that you can have an impact on your world. So at the end of the day, what van der Kolk shows us is this incredible two-sided coin. Yes, trauma forces us to face our own fragility, but it also, at the exact same time, reveals our extraordinary, almost unbelievable resilience. Which really leaves all of us with a final thought to chew on. The truth is, every single one of us has a body that's keeping a score of our joys, our stresses, our griefs. The real question this book asks isn't just for survivors of major trauma, it's for all of us. How can we learn to listen to what our bodies are trying to tell us?